Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan, we already know is great. He ain't got nothing to prove. You know, if Michael B. Jordan is in a movie, he's gonna be good. Michael B. Jordan is quality. But still, with this movie, man, he has so much good chemistry with himself.
Right, yeah.
I forgot. I really did. Now, the thing is, when you have one person playing dual roles, the trick is to make you forget that that's the same actor.
Yeah.
And I once, give me about 5 minutes, and I forgot that it was one person. Hey everyone, my birthday trip to Costa Rica is coming up in September, courtesy of Trova Trip, and we already have people signed up for this, but we need 4 more people to sign up for this trip. So please come in and take advantage of this early bird special, but also the next 4 people to sign up can take advantage of this code right here for extra discount. So click the link below in the description and let's make this trip happen. Also check out our Patreon, which includes exclusive content, including a new show featuring Martin and myself where we discuss classic films. Let's go ahead and get into the discussion and the review that everybody wants us to do, and that's the latest Ryan Coogler joint out there. But the first original Ryan Coogler film in a long time, and actually this is probably the most original film, not based on a damn Panther Man. You know, it's not based on any real-time events. This is truly straight from the Coogler's imagination.
From the heart.
From the heart, the mind, the soul, the ass of Ryan Coogler. And of course, we're talking about the much highly anticipated Sinners, which we all know very much about right here. Yeah. I was almost thinking about suing that man.
Hey, you talking about me?
Yeah. Folks, it is 1931. And the infamous gangsters, the Smokestack brothers. You got Smoke and you got Stack. They're returning from Chicago back to the Jim Crow era South. And you're like, why do y'all black asses want to come back down to that? Thing is, they were working up north in Chicago, working for the man himself, Al Capone. So you're living up there where apparently there's less racism. You got this really cool lifestyle. You're hanging out with the ultimate gangster. Why are you back here in old sorry-ass Mississippi in the Jim Crow era? Well, turns out that they want a little something for themselves. So after working for Capone, they're back here with a lot of money and a lot of alcohol. Catfish and music. And they're hoping to open old juke joint. Again, something they can call their own and someplace out of reach from racist white folks out there so that everybody can have a little something they can call them their own. So between war, a life of crime, and, well, the horrors of the racist South, that old juke joint, that's a place where they can actually feel safe. But turns out they're about to be in for a hell of an opening night. You know, because it turns out that juke joint it's too good. And that cousin Sammy's music right there, little Sammy right there. Little Sammy plays the blues so well that, well, they attract a different kind and a very dark kind of clientele. When I say dark, it ain't black people.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a whole different kind of dark that we're talking about. By this point, y'all know what it is, but let's watch this trailer first because the trailer is so good after all. And then we'll come back with our reviews.
Careful, boy. You gonna bite off more than you can chew.
You ain't got no problem with that.
Hell no.
That's a whole different kind of vampire right there.
One day he's gonna follow you home.
We got us a problem now.
What the hell going on?
Oh, we heard tale of a party.
By now, everyone knows that this is a vampire movie.
Yeah.
Kinda. You know, everybody knew it early on. You know, everybody was already guessing what this was. So it's safe to say that, you know, you've seen a lot of this before, you know, with this being a vampire movie. You know what? I would say that because we just did a review. We did I don't know if you knew about this. We did a retro review for From Dusk Till Dawn, the Robert Rodriguez directed movie written by Quentin Tarantino, with Quentin Tarantino stars in the movie. And
Does he?
yeah,
He's good at it.
Yeah, he's not bad in it at all, man.
I watched in that one scene with him.
No, he's not bad in it at all, man. And the thing is, after watching this movie right here, it is not hard to make direct comparisons to this.
Absolutely.
Just after seeing it. Both of these movies center on two notorious crime brothers. In Dusk Till Dawn, you have the Gecko brothers. Of course, here in Sinners, you got the Smokestack brothers, Smoke and Stack. Both films, they start out as crime movies. One is actually a more of a action-packed not blaxploitation, but exploitation thriller. The other is a crime period drama piece.
But they're both still on their way to the firework factory.
Yeah, because both end up at wild clubs, which actually look amazing to go to, but until the vampires show up, and then things really go down. So, like I said, you've seen some of this already before, but for those who are very spoiler sensitive out there, or think that this is just, the black version of From Dusk Till Dawn, don't worry, because this movie, and if you've already read reviews or anything of this, you've already heard this. This movie is so much more. People, you got a lot of movie packed in here. You got a lot of different movies packed in here. I would actually say that it's a weird movie, except that it all makes sense. Amazingly, there's many things that are packed into this film. Somehow, some way, this dude makes it all come together.
Yeah, and I think it's because there's something that is covered in this movie that's consistent the whole way through.
Well, are we giving away anything we say that? Or?
No, I think the music focus.
Well, yeah, no.
The blues, yeah.
Yeah, there's the blues, and there's a very personal aspect of this film for Ryan Coogler.
Deeply rooted in culture in so many ways. I mean, the way the movie starts.
Well, his family, too. One of the things with this movie is that his uncle was way into blues.
Really?
His uncle was way into one particular blues person, I'm not going to say. But so this right here is very much inspired by his uncle, who's not with us anymore. Is inspired by his love of the blues. So there's maybe that's why it all makes sense, because he didn't, he wasn't gonna make a movie about his uncle probably. So he just made this, he decided to make something that was entertaining, but also something very personal. So it became this kind of movie, that kind of movie, this kind of movie, and he just brought it in, and it all makes sense. Coogler described this as a genre fluid movie. And under anybody else, if anybody else had tried to do this, and I've seen people try to do this, it would be a mess.
Man, there were so many times it was like the movie was on the rails. And then they looked out this one gate, it's like off the rails is right there. And somehow they continued past that.
This is somebody who put a bunch of food on a plate, tried to tell me this was an entree, and it's slop. But not Coogler. Not Coogler at all. Ryan Coogler is such an excellent storyteller. He knows how to tie all this together. So, so that all these story elements that we have in here, they're woven together seamlessly. And that blew my mind.
Very good with the actors, too.
Oh, no, he is.
Yeah.
But it's, like I said, it's a lot. We told you, it's a crime movie. It's a horror movie. But on top of that, we said it's a period piece drama. It's about black people in Jim Crow trying to have their own, which is often taken away by racist white people. There's bits from other genre movies out there, science fiction. There's homages to something like The Thing.
Oh,
if you've ever seen The Thing.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan Coogler said The Faculty was an influence on some parts of this, but The Faculty is The Thing in some parts.
And that's a remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah, exactly. There's even a musical part in this. Parts of this movie is a musical.
Yeah.
I'm not lying. It's a straight up musical.
At one point, I thought that the movie was going to turn into a full-on musical. It doesn't quite, but it has a lot. It is about music.
I would say it get close. It gets very close.
Yeah.
To me, a musical has to have the characters singing to drive the plot forward, which this kind of does, but it doesn't quite.
Well, that's why I say it's part of a musical. The movie stops and it becomes a musical, because you have a character who is narrating through song something. And I'm not going to say what it is. I'm just going to say this.
They're telling a story.
Yeah, they're telling a story within all of this. They're giving history with this one musical part. Mm-hmm. what it's doing in this musical part is that it's playing. This is playing on the old tale of the blues. Robert Johnson. You know, Robert Johnson, he's an old blues guy that his music was so good that the devil came up and said, "God damn, boy, I challenge you." You know, he didn't even say I challenge. He said, you know, it said that his playing, like one time he was not that good. And all of a sudden he became amazing. And it said that the devil came in and made a deal with him to make him one of the greatest blues players ever. And because people are like, yesterday you sucked. What happened?
And the way that they incorporate that into the story, I thought was surprisingly subtle, because they could have gone so overboard with that.
Yeah, you pretty much have the story of a dude who sucks so bad that even the devil came up and said, "God damn, you're awful." But you know what? I'll cut your deal. I'll make you great. And of course, he got murdered and somebody took the devil got his soul. Never deal with the devil, y'all. And that's the kind of thing that we kind of have here. You know, with this movie, you have the character of Sammy, as we said, and Sammy's music is so powerful that it can bring evil, or it can conjure the spirits of ancestors, or the spirits of the future. Like Jesus, this dude's music is that awesome, man. And there's a scene that shows Sammy metaphorically bringing down the house.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best scenes I think I've ever seen.
That was the first moment where they could have really lost the plot and gone crazy, and they did it right.
Because a lot goes on in that scene. You're like, woo.
Yeah, I mean, it's a literal showstopper. Like he's playing, telling the story. Somebody's narrating. He's kind of saying some things in his lyrics, and it metaphorically brings down the house. And boy, I tell you, it borders on being silly almost. I don't want to say it. It could have been. This is how great a director Ryan Coogler is. Like I said, man. I mean, you see, like you said, you see when this shit's about to cross over in the silliness.
I feel like a lot of other directors would just set up.
Yes, they would.
That would have been the downfall of the movie. That scene, but it's a highlight.
The scene is so. Like I said, if anybody else would have done it, it would have been goofy as hell, and it would have ruined the movie. But it is so well choreographed that I agree with you. I don't know how you feel, Julian, but I think it's a highlight of the movie.
It brought me to tears. I thought it was incredible. Like, I was waiting for me to just be like, this is stupid, but it never did that. I just thought that it kept building and it delivered. It was an amazing moment.
Think about any Disney musical. Think about any musical that you've seen. Where they've had that musical number where it just stopped the movie and you just want to get up and cheer.
Yeah, it is straight awe-inspiring. It is incredible.
That's what I thought about it. And that guy that I was telling you about.
Oh, it's about Sammy?
The guy that, Sammy, yeah. Let me see here. That guy, man. They say introducing. Apparently he's I just found out about him. Apparently he's a musical prodigy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's incredibly talented. But with this movie, he's shown that he can act, man. And when he plays, that's how you know that he's a real musician, because when he plays, he dominates that screen, man.
Yeah, I mean, when he starts singing, it's like, whoa. It really grabs your attention and doesn't let go.
I'm sitting up the whole time because I'm thinking at any moment, you were doing so much. Yeah, this just about to go off a cliff. You know, we can't, man. Listen, you've been going down a crazy road so far. We can't keep doing this, and yet he maintains.
Yeah.
Man, the whole cast is great. The whole cast is amazing. Let me see here. Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan, we already know is great. He ain't got nothing to prove. You know, if Michael B. Jordan is in a movie, he's gonna be good. Michael B. Jordan is quality. But still, with this movie, man, he has so much good chemistry with himself.
Right, yeah.
I forgot. I really did. Now, the thing is, when you have one person playing dual roles, the trick is to make you forget that that's the same actor.
Yeah.
And I once, give me about 5 minutes, and I forgot that it was one person. I thought that they were two people.
And I was saying, and he was acting so good, you could tell the difference between both of the twins.
See, then they had to do any gimmicks with it. You know, listen, you've seen movies where they got an actor playing twins in one.
It just happened. Mickey 17.
Mickey 17, yeah. And see, what happened in Mickey 17? You get one person that's kind of normal or calm, and the other one was crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the crazy twin. And you know, you've seen that with the Cray brothers, where the man in Venom.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. One brother's cool and charismatic, the other's kind of insane. You know, with this one, they don't do that.
It's way more pulled back and restrained. They kind of have that stereotype to them of like one more normal, one more crazy, but it's not pushed to the point of disbelief.
But it's not crazy.
Yeah.
No, one brother's more trusting. One brother's a little more aloof. The other brother's a little more business calculated and more guarded.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So none of them are just kind of like, I'm the wild one, you know, it's nothing like that. Hailee Steinfeld, man.
Yeah, Mary.
Yeah, Mary, yeah, man. Listen, this, it's weird. I've always said this, because I was talking about this with Martin. It was a good discussion, because we talking about, man, it's just, I don't like this. Seeing somebody who started out as a little girl in a movie, because I first remember seeing her like in True Grit, and I was like, oh, that's a cute little girl, and now like, damn, that's a fine ass woman. And I feel weird saying that. I'm not being creepy about it, but she's beautiful.
Yeah.
But besides that, I mean, you know, let's not be superficial. Man, the more I see her in different movies, she's really getting better and better and better as an actress, and this is no different. She's amazing in this, man.
I don't think there's any performance in here where the actor doesn't completely just disappear.
No, but you know, but all these actors not only are good, but they're good with each other. His casting's amazing. Because I'm telling you, with the character of Mary, she's really good with Michael B. Jordan, man. She's got a relationship with one of the brothers, and it's the right balance of romance and sexual tension.
Cornbread.
Damn, you fine as hell.
Come on in.
If a vampire looking fine as hell, come on in.
Man, what you done out here?
You gonna let me in?
Okay. Well then, shit. Go out there and tell him to do something.
You like, look at him with all that dick hard. If you don't stop looking and do your job, watch this door.
That really wasn't his job at first.
I know. Yeah, these vampires ready to come on in, man. He ain't paying attention. People, there's
He's great in the movie too.
Delroy Lindo.
He was my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you though, man. There's Ryan Coogler is able to balance something else. There is romance in this
lot of
movie,
it too,
but
yeah.
not only that, but with the romance, there's a lot of sex. Man, there ain't even a lot of sex. There's a lot of
Hell
in this movie.
Trying to think. Up top, I think of 3 up top.
Yeah, listen, there's a difference between having sex, making love, and then it's just downright. All right, and that's what they doing here.
And not only just, they're showing the women initiating it a couple of times in graphic ways that I haven't seen very many times in a movie.
Yeah, it makes you mad like that. Where these women at, man, like this? Oh, they don't make them like they used to. You know, one person that no one is talking about, at least I don't see a whole lot of talk about this person. You might, because you've seen a lot of things that I haven't. When I was talking to you. But no one's talking about Jack O'Connell.
Oh, I was talking about him.
As Remick, the vampire. I don't think enough is said about this guy. He's what a traditional vampire is supposed to be, man. He's menacing but charming. You know, he's getting you to put your guard down. But it's just, again, as we've been saying, just another great performance.
You came over here for fellowship and love.
I'm sad as all, but I don't need no saving.
Yes. Yes, you do.
You know, you almost had me till you had that jizz on your mouth.
What's on your mouth right there?
Them glowing eyes and that damn sperm on your lips. I almost fell for it, but that's.
He's amazing.
No, he's great. You know, that's why people want to play the role of the head vampire. It's a juicy role because you get to be charismatic. Mm-hmm. You also get to be menacing. You get to be evil, but in a way, you get to be very charming. You know, it's.
I feel like he overexceeds his character. Like there's not even
in a good way or bad way.
In a good way. It's like there's not even a lot to his character, honestly. And it's like his performance is just so good.
And I think the choice of the culture that they inject to his character is a nice original spin on the vampire.
Yeah,
I can't think of a lot of Irish vampires.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading a comic book where they had a cool-ass Irish vampire, and then changed it into a suck-ass show. It's So if you want to see a cool ass vampire, read this book called Preacher.
Oh yeah, I love Preacher.
Yeah, there's a cool ass Irish vampire in there. He's also an asshole. But yeah, this whole thing with the Celtic vampire in here, man. That was that was a cool spin. And I like the way his characters played because everybody in here has been affected by the South. They've been engulfed by the culture of the South. You could hear at times it's a Southern drawl, and other times it's his Irish accent is coming through, and they kind of blend the two, and I thought that was good. But everybody else got a Southern as hell Southern accent. Like even the Asians in here, they sound country as hell.
Hell yeah.
Born and raised in Mississippi.
They had. I ain't gonna lie. Maybe it's gonna sound like I'm being racist when I say this, but I'm not. We first are introduced to the daughter of an Asian couple who's running a grocery store. And one of the Smokestack brothers goes in because he needs some help from them. He does a lot of business with them. And he's like, hey, girl, go get your mom. I need a sign made. And I thought she was going to be, mama. But no, she's like, mama. I was like, damn, she country. Mama. Good to see you.
And that was another great scene, that long take of when the mom walks across the street, or maybe it was the daughter when she walked across the street there.
I think it's daughter.
Yeah, when she went to go get the mom. I thought that was brilliant filming.
Well, it was brilliant because they showed you in this shot, because as I said, this is Jim Crow South, and needless to say, very, very segregated. But one of the things that they showed you here was they showed you just as simple as being across the street. There's a cultural difference. They made sure even just a few feet from each other, black people had this side, Asians had this side, brown people had this side, and white people had this side. And it's a tracking shot to show you just how racist and segregated it is. That even simply across the street, they don't want you there.
Yeah.
It was, no, you're right. That was amazing. So, looking at this, I'm praising this, and I enjoyed this very much, as you can tell, needless to say. But I will say, with this movie being so many different things, the vampire part is probably the weakest.
I agree.
For me. And let me ask you why. I'll ask you why do you think?
So for the first 3/4 of the movie, everything is so tight. It flows beautifully. You understand everything that's going on. But as soon as the vampires walk into this movie, everything kind of like the pacing gets a little bit messed up, where it's like, all right, this isn't moving as clearly as it was.
Yeah.
Like the action really gets in the way, I thought.
I think for me, the reason why it's the weakest part is because when we had the drama going on, I mean, it's a story that could go anywhere. We don't know. And plus they're getting into this whole thing, especially this part where they're getting into the relationship with one of the Stack brothers in an interracial relationship with Mary. Listen, they're covering things where we don't know where this is going to go. But when you get to the part with the vampires, it's covering all the tropes and all the rules that we always see with vampires. Garlic, steaks, crosses, holy water. This ground has already been covered. These rules have already been covered over and over again. It's really not doing anything new. This is pretty much routine now. And
the moment that triggers the vampires to really come in felt a little cheap to me.
Well, they do, yeah. They come in, there's not a whole lot of explanation. That's good. A lot of times I think that needs to be left mysterious. But also, they do this thing where, let me see here. So they do this thing where, this is something they always have in these kind of movies, especially with supernatural horror. A lot of times they always have that one character, especially with vampires now, who's explaining the rules and what they need to do and what's happening, even though they ain't met a vampire once in their life.
Ain't no internet either.
They ain't no internet. They don't know if this shit's gonna work. It's just explained because, people they call me a witch, or I make potions, or I read a lot of mystic shit.
It's set up, and she does a great job with that character. But you're right, it is definitely a type.
No, don't get me wrong. that's the woman I'm talking about is actress Wonsi Mosaku.
She's getting better and better too.
She's so good in this.
No, she's wonderful in this movie. She is, and she also has sort of some real sexual tense scenes with one of the Smokestack brothers. But she is that character who's like, oh wait a minute, no, y'all hold it, y'all don't y'all do anything because there's vampires out there. Like, how you know it's vampires? Well, I read, it was passed down to me. I heard, and it's like, okay, what it is that it's that character who's supposed to be the shortcut.
Yeah.
They're supposed to set up the rules, establish things, so we don't have to stop and explain too much.
And she didn't get a single rule wrong either.
No, not one. Not one. And then, by the way, they had just happened to have all the supplies.
Right. Everything right there.
Everything in the shack that, to keep vampires away. Everything conveniently there. But listen, that's like talking about the weakest entree in an excellent meal.
Right,
it's not bad. They still do a lot of cool things with those scenes. And they do a lot of cool things by using vampires in that setting. If it's not original, what they're doing with the rules there, they do a lot of cool things within this southern setting, the racism.
Yeah. And by the end, the use of the vampires has a pretty clever reasoning of why they chose to do that with this script, and I like that a lot.
Yeah, and when I say that, this setting, like they're using it with, like I said, within the Southern culture, but they're also, when we're talking about music in here, there's another scene, because everybody's talking about how this is steeped in Southern Black culture, and it is. But there's another scene in here I thought was pretty cool, and I think people will have, various opinions on this, but I liked it. There's a scene in here where they stop.
Oh yeah.
For another musical number. And it's where this you have it's a Celtic number with the head vampire Remick, and it's funny because it's pretty much because I've never seen a vampire do an Irish jig before.
Me neither.
He was doing. I ain't tap down. He was jigging. Yeah, it was, and it's a cool scene. It's a real lively, great Celtic Irish musical number, man. And again, they've woven it into the story.
And it's haunting to watch.
Yeah. There's also the social commentary that goes on with this, because we were talking about when the trailer was coming out, when we watched the trailers and the movie was coming out. Oh shit, these are racist vampires up in here. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a great idea, but not really, man.
Hell no, they ain't racist.
No, the vampires are actually. They would have got me because they made a good argument. They say, "Listen, man, you living in racist Southern Jim Crow America. Is it really worse being a vampire? I mean, in fact, are vampires any worse than these people around here? If you think about it, being a vampire is actually a way to be free, freer than you've ever been. Do you
live forever?
Live forever. Yeah. You're not under control of racist white people.
You beat them white people up, shit.
Yeah. You get revenge,
and it encourages togetherness.
Yeah, man. And he says, listen, we out there everybody's divided. We're all one big vampire family.
Like a little cult.
Listen, he made his point to me. Shit, I'll sign me up.
That's one thing Ryan Coogler is so good at, is writing his villains well. Like actually seeing the villain side. He did that well with Killmonger. Was it Namor?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, he sure did. Yeah, writing these characters where you question the morality, because they might be seen as villains, but hey, they kind of got a point.
Right. Yeah.
And there's even, with the stuff that we've seen before, those scenes are so well directed. Like, who cares if they got garlic and the rules of vampire and all that kind of stuff? That stuff is so well directed that they can be enjoyed just for their dialogue. And some of these scenes really do keep you on edge. We all know the whole thing of a vampire cannot come in unless invited. That's old shit. Yeah. That's about the oldest shit that you can have with a vampire. But here, even though we've seen it over and over and over again, it's nothing new. But the way this scene plays out, the dialogue behind this scene, where a vampire is actually trying to get invited in, it's a great scene.
Being polite? Now we one people, and we shouldn't go in barging into other folks' places uninvited. So
See, he'd have got my dumb ass. I'd be like, make sense to me, shit.
No, hell no. This big ass nigga go the whole time, all night, and going in and out. Boy, I would never hire you. Listen,
we all fucked.
No, I would never hire you to be a doorman or guard the door or anything. Oh, hell no. You are a big liability.
We all dead.
Hell, vampires don't even exist, but you find a way to let one in.
Shit, especially if Hailee came through shit. Mary,
we all let her in. Shit, come on, we all fucked up there.
We've been in and out of here all day. Ain't never need an invite then.
Can I at least get my money?
Bruh, throw that shit on the ground. Ball that shit up and throw it across the street.
That's what part I didn't get, because I'm like, you just heard her explain everything, and then he's still like, okay, I'm gonna reach out and get the money. I'm like, what? Why didn't he just throw the money?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought he was gonna do. I was like, yo, dumb ass you supposed to be the calculating and smart one.
But it was a cool action scene with Michael B. Jordan. I think that's why.
No, it was that. Listen, the whole scene is cool. The whole way it's shot. If you notice that he does so much. He does so much with facial expressions here. There's a lot of things where he cuts to. He's cutting to, the brother trying to process this whole thing right here. Like he's confused. He doesn't know what to believe. He knows what he's doing with pacing. He knows what he's doing with suspense. He knows what he's doing with giving us a character to relate to. He's doing a lot with body language. He's doing a lot with expression. This is all stuff of an expert director, man.
Yeah, and that's delivering on what they set up from the beginning. Like, they established those characters' relationships, so there's good reason for them to interact that way in that scene. Though I do agree with you, you should have thrown that shit on the ground.
Yeah, get the fuck. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? You're smarter than this, bro. He's been through the whole movie. He been handling his business. Somebody came in using wood nickels. He's like, you better stop that shit.
Yeah, he's a smart one.
Yeah, he wasn't that smart right then.
Yeah, I didn't get that part. That's one part I did not get.
Yeah. Shit, if you throw that shit across the street, he's still trying to get in. Something's wrong, definitely. And by the way, the actor who's playing
he did good too.
The actor who's playing Cornbread. So that is Omar Benson Miller. He's a character actor, but great job in this movie. So and there's a lot going on in this scene. It's kind of frightening. It's suspenseful. It's very tense. It's also very funny.
Yeah.
There's a lot of humor here. This is a guy who, for a lot of people, they'd be juggling all these balls and they would go all over the place. This guy keeps it going. This director knows what he's doing. I was impressed with so much of this film, man. It's a technical achievement. Go watch this in IMAX.
Hell yeah. Cheat yourselves out.
Yeah, I went to go see this in IMAX. And
which one? Like the big IMAX?
I went to see it in the biggest IMAX we got.
Okay, bet.
Yeah, I went to the maximum IMAX that we had. There is so much going on here with playing with the cinematography, and when I say playing with the cinematography, really using space. You'd be surprised at how much, man, ain't nothing out there in the South but weeds and dirt, but they're able to capture the scope of what this place looks like, of it being so packed. I mean, look at, the scenes like this where he makes dirty ass shacks and weeds and trees look gorgeous.
The use of the lighting is top notch. It is just exquisite across the board the whole time.
Yeah. And when you watch it in IMAX, it really does this cool thing of when they want you to focus on character, when they want you to focus on story, they narrow it down to letterbox. But when they want to give you scope of the scenery or the area they're in, it goes full screen. And also they use it to great dramatic effect. There's a scene where it's letterbox and then shit's about to go down. It's a big showdown. And then it stretches out to widescreen again. And I was like, wow, full screen. And I was like, man, this is the way to see it. 70 millimeter IMAX. If you can. If you can't, that's cool. I don't know what they do in the other screenings, but this is the one.
Yeah, I didn't see it in IMAX, but I didn't notice like the frame changing at all. But it was awesome.
Yeah, they probably didn't do it because
it wasn't.
I saw it at the Draft House.
Yeah, it probably wasn't formatted for that way for a smaller screen. The way they did it at our screening, it was probably meant for just that screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine didn't really change either. I saw it in XD.
Yeah. Listen, for everything it is, it still even becomes more elements, man. You know, I mean, we're about to get to the end of this movie, and we still throwing crazy shit in. By the end of the film, it becomes the ending is much like kind of like an action film.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's an action film and it's very satisfying. It involves the Klan and you know, and after that's done, after we're done with this action film climax ending, we have, and I'm not gonna give away the ending or anything. I'm just gonna say this: it ends on a surprisingly very emotional note.
It does.
Yeah,
it's like I said.
That's where it got me.
Yeah, this is where the personal, the personal part of this movie for Ryan Coogler. That's where it comes out at the end, and you can feel it. You can feel how personal it is for him because it really does feel very emotional when you see it.
Yeah, by the time you get to the end, like when the credits start, the message from the movie is really rooted and grounded in reality.
Yeah.
In a scary way. That's what I love the most about the movie.
Yeah, man. Listen, what more can we say, y'all? Except that, you know, again, more kudos to the cast here, man. Jamie Lawson plays Perline, one of the, I think she's kind of the romantic interest of Sammy. Not love, but romantic, the horny interest of Sammy. She's very good.
It was getting there.
Delroy Lindo.
Oh man, I loved him in the movie.
Delroy Lindo is a veteran, man. He's a natural, and he's really good in this. And go play a game with this. I won't tell you who's who, but go play a game and see how many of these people have been in comic book properties. Most of this cast has done something either comic book direct or comic book related. You know, so it's just a fun thing to do with this. But man, it's with this movie, like I said, man, probably my biggest complaint is that the vampire stuff is nothing new. It's almost overplayed. Where we've seen that there, but there's so much here, man. Action, thrills, chills, but then you have history, drama, emotion, music, technical magnitude. It's one of the most ambitious things that I've seen, and none of it ever flings out of control. That merry-go-round keeps going faster and faster, nothing spun off. Yeah, I give this a full price, man. It's almost a high full price. It's far as one of the movies you'll see this year. I would say that it's one of the best because, and I encourage this, understand, this is an original film, original vision by a director. It's so competently made, so very well made. This is something that we don't get a lot of these days, man. And I want to support this, and I want other people to support this. I mean, these days we're getting, these pre-existing IPs, getting safe drama. We're getting safe sequels. We're getting safe properties. This almost feels like a risk, and I can understand why something like this, somebody would look at it and be like, no. If anybody but Ryan Coogler came in and tried to get this made, the studio would tell them, get the lot and don't ever come back. Don't come back to my office. Don't ever come back to this studio.
I always love to say that sound is more important than the image. And this movie perfectly exemplifies that because the image will show you the place. The sound is what takes you there. And the way that they do that in this, focusing on the blues, it's pretty incredible. I do agree when the vampire stuff starts going down, that's where it kind of just like, it becomes muddy a little bit. The movie doesn't flow the same that it was before. Production value through the roof. Everything about it is like 100% gorgeous. But that vampire stuff, some noticeable CGI to me. Like there was one scene where it felt like there was CGI like smoke or something. I was like, I could do without that. But other than that, very high full price.
Look at these beautiful shots, man.
Exactly. I need everything to be like that. I don't need, bullshit in front of it.
Yeah.
But okay, so I kind of came in a little bit biased because this is my favorite director of all time, Ryan Coogler, and my favorite actor of all time, Michael B. Jordan. So I'm already came in with thinking like, oh, shit's gonna be something crazy.
And by the way, y'all, he told us like, I said, I said he gonna love this movie, and he came in and said, oh, y'all don't know me. Bro, I just want to point that out.
All right. And then it was crazy because I saw the movie on Wednesday, and me and my friend Sean Chandler, check him out. We did a little talk about it after on his little thing, and guess who commented on it?
I heard about it. Michael B. Jordan, man. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, so I was like,
I was happy for you, man.
I was, bro. I'm working out. I'm like, that's it. Michael B. Jordan commented on a post. I was like, what the hell? But yeah, man, I absolutely love this film, man. This is, looking at all these genres, you know, all mixed into one, you're like, this should not work at all. And somehow Ryan Coogler figured that shit out. I was like, what the I said, like, that scene right there, I was saying, that's got to be one of the best scenes I have ever seen, like, in cinema, I feel like, man. Because you understand, you watch that scene and you learn something from that.
Is that the
scene.
musical number?
Yeah, the musical, yeah. Because, like I said, I watched it and I was like, that is true. That's where I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm like, that's where the roots come from. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, in the acting here, there was no performance where I thought was bad at all. Everybody I thought was great. I'm pretty sure people might overlook it too much, but I think who's the kid that plays Sammy?
Sam Canton.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not Sam Canton.
No. His name is Miles.
Miles Canton. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of his character. Miles Canton is his name.
Yes. I was trying to look him up. I'm like, man, what else has this kid done? This was his first movie.
Yeah. That's why he said introducing Miles Canton.
I was like, what? I'm like, for this being his first movie, I'm like, that is crazy. I'm excited to see what he does next. And you talking about Jack earlier, he was like, I've never seen Jack on a movie before, but I was like, after watching, I'm like, yo, what else is he doing? I think he's doing 28 years later. And he's a villain in that one too.
He was also in a movie that not a lot of people saw. He was, let me see, he was in that movie Fade to Black, Amy Winehouse.
Oh, see, I never saw it.
A lot of people didn't. He played Amy Winehouse's boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
Who enabled her bad habits.
Oh shit. Well, that's the first time I've ever seen him. I'm like, yo, I'm excited to see what he does next. But like I said, there was no bad performance. I learned a lot. Actually, it's crazy because there's a lot of history in this movie that you don't even get to see. Like, there's a lot of history between all these characters. Like, you got history between Mary and Stack. And you're like, what's like? They don't tell you the exact history, or they don't show you the history, but they tell you it, and you actually feel like, oh yeah, there's definitely some big chemistry between those two. But yeah, this was definitely so far my favorite movie of the year. I gotta give us you know I'm gonna give it.
What I tell you?
I was close. I was almost there with
it. What I say? Did I say better than sex?
Yep.
Did I say that?
Wait, you just said better than sex. Wait. You just said better than sex.
Yes.
Okay, I go a little better than sex.
there's no sex thing.
No. Sex is in there somewhere.
But yeah, man, it's better than sex. Man, I absolutely loved it. Seen it twice, going to see it again. So
really,
yeah.
You going to the IMAX?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the one you went to.
Man, please, if you love it this much, go see it at the Bob Bullock IMAX.
Yeah, because I went to see it in a Cinemark XD, and it's like the fucking bulb is just like, I'm like, turn that shit up. It's like the movie looked like low.
The movie itself is very dark. No pun intended, but like there's moments where like, you know, people have dark skin and there's dark shadows over their face. You can't even see them.
Yeah, but it's like in Cinemark it looked even worse.
No, it when you watch it I hate to say it because a lot of these theaters do it, some worse than others, but their projection bulbs are low.
Bad.
Yeah,
bad.
You notice it, and look, you can't be having a movie with dark ass black people in it
right.
and got the bulb low.
Barely
you
even
can't see that. Yeah.
Right. Oh, I didn't even talk about the goddamn soundtrack, the score. I was like,
yes.
I was like, bruh, when I left the theater, I instantly went to like Spotify. I was like, I gotta look up these songs. All these songs are done so well.
Have you heard what Ryan Coogler said the inspiration for the movie was?
We'll save that in a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
we'll save it for a bigger discussion. Was it another cartoon? Or not a cartoon?
Well, there's a lot of inspirations for it. We'll say that for the next discussion. So if y'all watching this video, then go watch the next video.
But yeah, it's music related. But I totally agree. That's why I made such a big point to say that the music really shines in this.
I forgot to bring up even the music. Yeah, the music. I thought that was gonna be something that everybody would kind of overlook. I'm like, man, that music is a star of this goddamn movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, it is. It's very much a character.
That was like the nicest surprise that this movie I thought was going to just be about vampires in the South. It's actually like this deep story about the blues.
Yeah. I'm like, this for a vampire movie, this movie has no right to be this good.
Yeah. No, it's that's because it's more than a vampire movie.
Right. Yeah.
There's so much more.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and here's what I'll say lastly here for anybody who. Their complaint is, and this is not a complaint for me. You know, this is just something different. Movie just, just did a different way. I'm talking about From Dusk Till Dawn. For anybody who did say that the movie was was so abrupt when it got to the vampires because it just became a different movie with no warning at all. This movie isn't like that. This movie's, the opposite of that. It gradually goes into its vampire story.
Yeah.
So it gives, drops of and hints of vampires happening, and then, it's just, it doesn't catch you off guard.
Yeah, it's very natural in its progression. It doesn't feel like it just veers into something else completely.
Right.
Yeah. So, hey, listen, all these are enthusiastic reviews. Go watch it if you haven't seen it yet. And, hey, if you like Julian, go see it again. Or would you look at that? You made it to the end of the video. That means you really like us. So just go ahead and press that like button and subscribe while you're at it. And check out our other channels, our social media like Instagram, TikTok, and our Patreon, where we have new stuff coming up all the time. And we'll see you on the next video.